Once again, very good morning to all of you. We are going to start the next session, value education and its significance. The presenter of this session is Mr. Manish Kumar from DAV Bhagalpur. तो एक बार मैं अपने सारे पार्टिसिपेंट स्कूल्स जो इस इन हाउस ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम में सऊदिया से जुड़े हुए हैं उनको धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ। रामकृष्ण विद्या मंदिर रन्नूचक, डीएवी बरारी, जेएनवी नगरपाड़ा, गुरु कृपा एकेडमी कहलगांव, न्यू एरा पब्लिक स्कूल मुंगेर, न्यू होराइजन स्कूल भागलपुर, एसबीएम जमालपुर, एसबीएम मुंगेर, कोलंबस इंग्लिश एकेडमी शाहपुर and Himalayan Academy Kalgaon. Now it is the time to start the next session. So I would like to call Mr. Manish Kumar to come on to the podium and start the very second meeting. The topic is value education and its significance. So over to Mr. Manish Kumar. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you joining in this session. As sir has already informed you that this session is going to be taken by me, and in this session we are going to have a discussion on the topic value education and its significance. I would like to thank Sahudia Bhagalpur and my principal for giving me this opportunity to communicate and join with my fellow colleagues in different schools joining through Sahudia Bhagalpur. Now, when we go through this session, broadly, I'm going to just divide this session in three parts. There will be a three-part of the session, and the three-part will be broadly three-part will be my discussion going through, and first will be the importance of value. Now, second part will be why there is a need for value education in all the schools, and third part, how we impart values into the student through the various subjects and the role of the teachers. The most important part will be with the role of the teachers, how they can inculcate the values through the different subjects in the schools. So we go through that, and sure. Okay. So now when we talk about the value education and its significance, now the first thing, we introduce ourselves with this slide, and I hope everybody is familiar with this picture. This is one of the picture from the Gurukul style of teaching was prevalent in the ancient India. Now, what this particular Guru Shishya Parampara gives the message to all the audience. This pictures is totally connected, where a natural way of teaching, imparting values to the student in the ashram. Now, what was the first thing? The values was being inculcated in this Shishya.
लिंक इज नॉट वर्किंग, लिंक एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहा, काम क्या मर जाए कि हम बिल निकाल लिया आप ही देख रहे हैं.
Now I'd like to ask everybody to mute themselves. Yes, so we were just going through the Guru Shishya Parampara, and the one value which was the most basic in this ashram was the equality. In this ashram, all the people coming from different states of the society was given the chance to get them education, and all this education was based upon the value system prevalent at that time. Now, why just prevalent at that time? Because every value just changes with due course of time. What was prevalent at that time was imparted, that was being okay with all those situations. But when we come to today's scenario, we have to change something that was in the ancient time, that was prevalent at that time. Something may not be relevant as today's need. So we can switch over that values to replace with the new value that is needed in this time. Now, in India, this system of education where the Guru used to give all the necessary, the formal, informal, all things for becoming a good human being was being imparted through this Gurukul system. Now we move towards the next slide, and that is why there is a need for the value education nowadays. Now, where there is a moral degradation in nowadays. Now, value education is highly needed because our life have become miserable. Miserable in the sense there is so much thing interrupted in our society, so much changes in the society. The generation is becoming so fast that some values have been left out in our society, because we have a definitely a good quality education system, but quantity is increased, but quality has been gone down. The second, degrees are available, but we have lost the dignity. That dignity should be restored. And then we have so many technical institutions producing the technical students and human beings, but do we have the sincerity with them? Do we find them sincere? Do they are having all those values which is required to become a good human being? Is this possible? No, it is not possible. So now we have the trained people produced by the university, but many institutions are involved in that. but the values have been downgraded. Many institutions are opened, but only few civilized people are produced. In that word, civilized means the values which is the part of our upbringing has been restored in that, has been inculcated in the students or not. There is a big challenge for that. Institutes are opening, the government is making it possible to get education level higher, but the quality of those education is not being monitored. The imparting of those values which was required to become a good citizen, the feelings, the nationalist feeling, the nationalism are the person's value toward the society. What after becoming success, what they are going to transfer to the society, all these things being monitored or not. Like that, we have earlier time, we have so many books on the value education system. But now we have more books what was available at that time. But are they enough to give the values to our students? Like that, already it is written, you can just go through the slide also. Many books are written, research is done, but humanity is threatened. Means different views are being accepted, different views are being spread through different means of communication. Now we have the mass media spreading different views, different arguments are being challenged. But do we have the right information source? It is been needed the school's role where the foundation should be given to our students. If we don't give them a good foundation, then they will not be able to differentiate between good or bad. Now here comes the role of the schools, where the imparting these values are so much needed. Even in the homes, we see that our children, they are in the different schools, they are living in the society where different informations are coming. But the most important, the base of Indian society, the philosophical foundation of India are declining day by day. The philosophical means the thoughts, the value system, which was the treasure of us, has been now neglected part of our education system. Here the challenge begins for us, that the values which was tradition, values, culture, are we ready to just give it to our new generation? Are they willing to accept those things in the society? Is there need to change our approach in giving those values to our students? So all these things are very important, that we must give a value-based education in our schools. Now, definitely there is a much challenges, but are these challenges are being totally faced by us? Are we ready to face those challenges? Yes, we must be ready to face those challenges. If we are not ready to face these challenges, the importance of education is not going to be available for them, because they might be a degree for them, but they will lose their dignity. These are all challenges. Now we come to the part of the values. We have discussed these all things that value education and must be needed. What values are there? We are familiar with all these words. We always say, as a teachers, we interact with the students, we go to the classroom, and if we find the student is not behaving properly, we always say that behave properly. And second thing, that you have not got any values. Not which values, which type of values we are just searching in that particular student, or through what message we are going to give to those students. What are the things we want them to have in themselves? These are the ideal standard of life, which act as a guide to their behavior. The first word is already very important for us, the behavioral problem. We always face this in the classroom, the challenge of having behavior in the classroom. That if we inculcate these values into the students, they will be ready to accept what is right or wrong. They will differentiate that the act of him is right or the act of him is wrong. If it is not right, then they should not follow that. This gives the things that they possess something which is going to value it. If those qualities are in them, their value will be increased. They will have added something to their character building. When they are growing up, they are having the building blocks in them, and these values will add a block to their life. This will help them to go further ahead as a good citizen. Like value literally means something that is a price and a precious. This was the things I just discussed with all of you, that when they are being given values, just importance of value should be explained to them, that these are the things, if you possess, your value will be increased. You will become precious, priceless. It is set of principles which guide the standard of the behavior of the student. Again, the word is coming. Value gives strength to the person's character. Now, the most important thing is, if wealth is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. The importance of character is so much that it is being far precious than wealth. With a strong character, a person can earn a respect in the society. But if a wealth is there, a person doesn't have the character, it is not going to earn that. So it is very important to just focus on character building. And character building will be done through these values if we are able to inculcate this into the minds of the students, the young budding citizens of the country, which are being groomed in the classroom. If we are not able to just give them those values, it is not only the place where the school is a place where the values is inculcated. No, the values, they are just getting it from their family, their society. But school is the place where they learn to socialize. They are being socialized. Their exposure to the society is in the school only. So it is very important that they must be nurtured in a way that values are being inculcated. The next, we go through the reflects on attitude, choice, decision, judgment, relationship, dream, and vision. All these words are very much known to the classroom scenario. When we go through the classroom, this is the attitude, the student choice of subject. They are able to take decision, and the judgment and relationship, they had a bonding, the friendship, everything is there. These are all values. If they are being inculcated properly in the classroom, they are definitely going to pay a big thing in the society. They are going to return it to the society. They can value all these words in their importance and value in their society. And value are virtue, ideals, and quality on which action and beliefs are based. It gives an inner satisfaction that they possess something. When these things are, when we go to the classroom, we see different kind of students coming from different state of the society, but some are very much attracted towards you, and you also go to them. You find them something special. These are the qualities which attracts you to that student. That is the quality that makes the person, because he possesses some values, and he shine out. He's just shining in the classroom. 50, 40 students, few are the shining, because they shine because they possess some qualities, and that should be pointed out in the classroom, so that others should be making it setting norms for themselves. कि मैं अगर ऐसा करता हूं, ये वैसा करता है तो सर ने अप्रिशिएट किया, अगर मैं ऐसा करूंगा तो मुझे भी अप्रिशिएशन मिलेगी, इसने ऐसा क्या किया. Now these are things which is being pointed out in the classroom so that others should be ready to copy it, and this will be very much important for them. Now these are the few words which is being associated with the values, that is the perseverance, honesty, honor, freedom, confidence, and the word tolerance. The important, we will just in the next part we'll discussing this responsibility, trustworthy, organization, getting, cooperation. These are all the things we find into the students, and these all we wanted to give it to the students. Care and compassion. Bouncing back means if the students have not performed well in the classroom, the morale is down, then you should give them accepting the failure and moving ahead, putting its effort, that is bouncing back. Now, all these things are very important when we go through the classroom scenario. Now, there is a need for these, all are the things we find it because these are just going down. The moral values are being totally going down, and if we don't pay attention on these things in the classroom, the subjects we go to the classroom, we teach them, if the value is not there, they are not going to accept that. They will not be accepting it. So there is a one quotation related to Mahatma Gandhi, that Mahatma Gandhi found that there is a great deal of moral degradation in the society. He was very much concerned about that because there is a lack of respect for sanctity of the human life. Nowadays, the value of human life has just gone down. Breaking of parental control. This word we definitely deal in the classroom. We face this challenge because the student coming to the classroom are not having a much parental control, and always we face this problem. If some of the students having the parental control, they are just shining in the classroom, and rest is posing the challenges to the teachers in the classroom because they don't have the value, they don't have been inculcated the values by their parents, and when there is a problem, we call the parents to the school. And sometimes we see the parents are helpless. They are even requesting the teachers that we should take care of their words. We should make them fall in the line they wanted. These are the challenges as a teacher we face. And lack of respect for authority. This is the challenge. The teacher is in the classroom. The student don't pay attention. They are damaging sometimes the school's property. They are indulging in the different acts which is not as per the norms of the schools. These are the sign of devaluation of the values and the abuse of women and children and old people, not paying respect to those people. These are all the important factors where we need to teach them the value. If we don't give them, these all things coming in this time will be just moving ahead. This will be just moving ahead. So, see, so and then these are the things we needed to teach them, to teach the values of culture and society. The rich heritage and culture of our country should be exposed to those people. And this is the responsibility of all of us, that we should pass on to other generation what the values has been passing since the generation to us. And when we put the values in them, they will be able to just differentiate between good and bad, right and wrong. This will be helpful for them. The young generation, when we come to the school, their conscience are young, are very much exposed to the world. We should put them in the right path. जिसको हम बोलते हैं अंतरात्मा की आवाज को जगाना, that we should do in the classroom. They should feel it. और एक बार जब वो फील कर लेते हैं तो उनके लिए आसान हो जाता है चीजों को डिफरेंशिएट कर पाना. और कल्चर और ट्रेडिशन, ये तो दो पार्ट ऐसे हैं जिनको कि हमें क्लासरूम में डिस्कस करना ही चाहिए. If we discuss this in the classroom, we will be able to connect to them in the way they wanted. That is, connection is being established. And then to make meaningful the practices and beliefs. So many traditional values are there, which is now the people said that is the old tradition, we don't believe in that, leave those things. No, everything is not in our tradition, is not going to be shed out. It is not being acceptable in today's world. It is not that. So many values are there that is important for us in today. Only the way of communicating to them is in a different way. If we just present it, same tradition, in same way, because the thoughts are being expanding. They want reason behind that. If we say that follow this, they are not going to follow. We must find a reason for particular tradition to be carried in today's scenario. And if we just give them reason, they are going to accept it. So this is the duty of us in the classroom, to just pass on to the students with the reason that this is the long past custom tradition of our society and we should follow it. But why should we follow it? This must be explained to the everyone. And if we are able to do that, they will be able to connect to every human being. They will be able to respect. Education plays a very important role in just educating them to just differentiate between good and bad. And these are the valuable objectives for the value education. That is the full development of child personality, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. These all connect to, if you go through that, every time there is a word culture, emotional, spiritual, and historical. Because India is the oldest civilization exists in the world, we have a long past tradition, culture, which connect us with the past. If we don't carry and just put forward to the coming generation, it's our failure, not their failure, because they don't know, we know it. That is, inculcation of the good manners and responsibility lies totally on us. Developing respect for individual and society. As they enter into the school, it is our moral responsibility to make them feel it very good. And inculcating a spirit of patriotism, national integration. These two words value much more than earlier. Nowadays, if we don't put attention toward the patriotism and national integration, the value of just accepting diversity in the society, it's if the intolerant society is developed, the people will not respect others. If these values are being sent to the students, it is very difficult for us to survive in the society. So this is the responsibility. We must fulfill our objective of giving these values to the student, enabling children to make moral decisions on the basis of ideals of love, peace, respect, tolerance, forgiveness, brotherhood, and coexistence. All these words have a very valuable in the classroom scenario. अगर आप एक बार गौर से इन शब्दों को देखेंगे, ये सारे चीज आपको क्लासरूम में देखने को मिलेगा, where there is a love, peace, respect, tolerance, forgiveness, and brotherhood, and the coexistence. ये सारे वर्ड क्लासरूम में अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया जा सकता है, अच्छे से इसको डेवलप किया जा सकता है और इसके महत्व को, इसके इम्पोर्टेंस को स्टूडेंट्स को में एक जीवन के शैली में उनको शामिल करने के लिए प्रोत्साहित किया जा सकता है. All this gives like enormous values. We all are familiar with these words, and let them familiar that they should have all these words in their life dictionary. Not the word dictionary, it should be in the life dictionary. That is there. Now, two charts are on your display board, and these two charts gives us the importance of education and value education. There is a very thin difference between both of them. Actually, we get the value education through our education system. We make a path of value education through the path of education only. So what the just make a thin difference, we just go through that. The first is education. It's open our mind and give us the broad knowledge of the world. It gives us the, if we give the value education, it gives the purity of the heart. The values clean the heart to accept the others, provides us with a skill. Education gives us skill. Excuse me. And the value education provides us sincerity. It's exchange relation with the world. With the education, we broaden our mind and we connect to the world, and it links with the family and the society. Teaches us to compete with the others. In the education, मैं फर्स्ट आऊंगा, वो सेकंड आ गया तो मैं फर्स्ट आ जा सकता हूँ, मैंने मेहनत करनी है. लेकिन वैल्यू एजुकेशन encourage us to become a complete human being, a good human being, makes us a good professional. Education, if we are well qualified, become a good professional, it makes a whole human being. That is, a humanity comes first and takes us on the top. Education हमें बहुत ऊंचाई पर ले जाता है, लेकिन takes up whole of the society to the top. If the moral values are given, the society uplifts, and we earn our livelihood through our education. But value education provides us ananda, the pleasure, the happiness of being as a one valuable part of the society. It's a very important for us. These all things is a very thin difference between the education and importance that is the value education is being imparted in the classroom to the students. Now these all were the parts of that. Now we come to the categories of the values. Which type of values are there in the running of the society? These are the personal, social, political, economic and religious values. Different values should be just given to the student phase wise, so that they could be ready for the country. They could be groomed into a citizen which is required in the country. The personal values is the honesty and responsibility and the loyalty. That is the basic points given to the classroom, where we want students to be honest. We just share the responsibility to them when we organize any function in the school. Either they become a monitor of the classroom, they should be loyal to the school. All these things are being inculcated. The social values is to respect equality in the society and liberty, freedom and nationalism. Political values, they should believe in the democratic values and the civic amenities. जो civic values है एक civilized society के लिए, वो हम स्कूल में ही देते हैं. Later this topic will be coming in the subject also. We'll come to that also. Economic values, the value of money. The country, everybody just need the money, but does money gives all the pleasure? We just give them the value in the schools that yes, money is needed, but money is not the everything we run after. If you are successful, the money will come along with you. And the religious value. Religious faiths are different for different people. Religious faiths are personal. It should not be public. It should not be made public. These are the beliefs, and we should inculcate all those values into the students. It's our responsibility. Now comes the most important part of this, that is factor. These are the factors which influence the learning of the values. That is by the socialization, moral judgment, moral feeling, empathy, and confidence and knowledge. These two we have already discussed. Becoming aware as the child of society and parent. बच्चों में ये भावना हमें भरनी होती है कि आप समाज का हिस्सा हैं और आपकी जिम्मेवारी कुछ बनती है. moral judgment that think reasonably about the ethics and deliberately deciding on own moral standards. समाज में, स्कूल में, परिवार में अपनी वैल्यूज को आप कैसे एक सम्मानजनक तरीके से कर सकते हैं, ये उनका एक फैक्टर होता है. Moral feeling is there. Empathy is the most important part. Just stepping into the skin of other, feeling the pain of a person in the same way that person is feeling it. वो feeling जागृत करना है. That is to be just have in every student. There should not be a thing that कि एक को चोट लग गई तो क्लास में लोग बच्चे हंसने लगे तो वहां पर हमारी रोल बढ़ जाती है. That we should make them feel empathy about that, not the sympathy. The pain that person is feeling, we must feel that pain. The phase that person is going through, we must feel that. And confidence and knowledge, ये तो हमारा पार्ट है ही कि ये अगर उनमें हम इनकलकेट कर पाते हैं तो ये सबसे बड़ी अचीवमेंट हमारी होती है कि उनका कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ जाए. That's why we have different activities in the classroom where, and outside the classroom also, in the morning assembly, where they are being asked to just perform. That gives them the confidence. So all these things are there. And here comes the most important part of my presentation and my this 1 hour session, that is the role of the teachers. Now this is the things where we needed all these things. A teacher has to function as an agent of imparting these values in the classroom to the student. They are the role models for the students. They can carry these values to the students through their act. Their responsibility is also there, and sensitize the learner with reference of value situation in life. उनको इम्पोर्टेंस समझाना, उनको बताना, ये हमारा एक सबसे बड़ा कर्तव्य हो जाता है जब हम क्लासरूम में जाते हैं. हमारा ये जिम्मेवारी बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ता है. Through involving the learners actively in discussion, dialogue, and practical activities, all these things done by the different subject teachers in a different way. अलग-अलग तरीके से सभी करते हैं. सबकी अपनी-अपनी methodology होती है. We are going to discuss some in this session also, that different subject teachers, how they are going to make it a classroom. Knowingly or unknowingly, they are doing it. But today we are just going to brush up those things, how we are going to do this. The teacher should be exposed student to the work of art, beauty, and the human relationship and action of moral worth and cooperation, security, develop their moral sensibility. This is the place where our role is so much that we set the example to the student through our act, and we make them to feel those things. जिन वैल्यूज को हम इनकलकेट करना चाहते हैं उनको फील करने दें. They should help in creating an atmosphere of love, trust, sincerity, and conducive to the development of high ideals. अगर क्लासरूम में वो माहौल ही क्रिएट नहीं होगा, वो एम्बियंस नहीं होगा, वो अगर अच्छा सा एक टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस का एक कनेक्ट नहीं होगा, तो जो चीजें हमें ऑब्जेक्टिव के रूप में हमने लिया है कि हम ये चीज को वहां तक पहुंचा सकते हैं, that will not be possible. It will not be possible. So there is a much needed role of the teacher. They should possess the right qualities of mind and heart necessary for pursuit of the knowledge. Next session will be related to the happy classroom. This topic will be dealt with the next resource person waiting just after my session, that how the teachers should have a right quality and mind, and if they are just in the right mindset, they are going to transfer the knowledge, the values to the student. They should have a concern for social justice and human rights, and accordance with the highest standard and ethics of teaching profession. The word ethics is very much important, because as a teacher we must have some values, because we are being followed by thousands of students which we connect through our teaching life. जितनी लंबी आपकी टीचिंग लाइफ होगी उतने लंबे लोगों से आप कनेक्ट होते हैं. आपके वैल्यूज उनमें ट्रांसफर होते हैं, तो आप में वो क्वालिटीज होनी चाहिए जिसको कि वो फॉलो कर सकें। आप में वो चीजें दिखनी चाहिए जो आप उनमें देना चाहते हैं, तो वो चीजें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है। अगर आप उसमें लैक करते हैं तो आपके लिए ये प्रॉब्लम होती है। दिस टॉपिक नेक्स्ट में मैं डिस्कस करूंगा अभी। एंड दे शुड बी डेवलप्ड अ नेशनलिस्टिक फीलिंग। ये बार बार वर्ड आ रहा है, नेशनलिज्म, पैट्रियोटिज्म, नेशनलिस्ट फीलिंग। दीज आर द वैल्यूज वेयर वी पे आवर अटेंशन टुवर्ड्स मदरलैंड। देश के प्रति जो प्यार होना चाहिए, जो फील होनी चाहिए, वो तो हमें ही क्लासरूम में जनरेट करना है बच्चों में। थ्रू द डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स, डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज, create an awareness about the problem of future, sustainable development। ये तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और ये साइंस और सोशल साइंस टीचर्स जो होते हैं उनके लिए तो ये चीजें बच्चों को बताना बहुत जरूरी है। रिलेटेड टू फूड, वाटर, एनर्जी एंड एनवायरनमेंट, एंड गिव इक्वल इंपॉर्टेंस टू ऑल स्टूडेंट्स इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कास्ट, क्रीड। ये तो इक्वालिटी रोल ही है हमारा सबसे बड़ा है कि वी शुड क्रिएट अ क्लास ऑफ इक्वल्स where everyone is equal, no one is given special status, no one is given extra importance, because we have to create each student as a individual citizen. Now these are the two ways of approaches to the value education. These are the methodology we adopt in the classroom. These are the two. First is the integrated, that is through the different activities we go through the school life, the student goes through, और उसके साथ वो values add होता चला जाता है, वो ये सीखता चला जाता है। That is, many public school in approaches value are integrated through the various subject and activities. The physical education उनको health, strength और ग्रेस वगैरह, एग्जीक्यूटिव वगैरह सिखाता है। इसी तरह से स्पोर्ट टीचर करेज, इनिशिएटिव, रैपिड डिसीजन, एक्शन, रिफ्लेक्स एक्शन और एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ फेलियर। एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ फेलियर जो है वो उनको सिखाता है कि इफ two teams are playing, one has to be win and one has to be defeated. उस डिफीट को एक्सेप्ट कर पाना, फेलियर को एक्सेप्ट करना, ये हमें सिखाते हैं। Work education, every schools have the work education classes and periods where different act is being given to the students. Sometimes there is given group project where collaboration is there, coordination is needed. These are our values where just given through them. It also makes the use of leisure period. Some of the leisure period is given for the moral lecture in the hall. They are being called upon, and celebration of different occasions are being done, and the value is being passed on to the student through those celebration. And the most important, everyday morning assembly is there, where much of the values is for a day is being given there, being disciplined, standing in the line, waiting for the others, and letting the small children to go to the assembly ground. They are given responsibility of different points. They guide the smaller children, the younger one. All these things being done through the morning assembly. There is a morning assembly addressed by the teachers, the principals, and the students also. So different things are being part of our school system. And second way is that is a part of curriculum. In many of the school, moral education is being taught through the books. The syllabus is there. I hope in all the schools there is a moral education classes, and the book is available in the moral education. Particularly where I work, DAV, we have the moral education till standard 8. We have the books and the examination and the total system of values from ancient culture, the current thing, the great personalities, the great freedom fighters, our icons. They are being in the different classes. They are the part of syllabus, and their life is being discussed in the classroom so that they can learn from them. And the Indian philosophy, I have given two examples here, the Panchatantra and the Indian philosophy. The two slides, the pictures of two things are being given. Indian philosophy is being taught in the classroom in the different books. So it is being made through the two parts. One is the integrated and second is the curriculum. And then it is the teaching methods are these, the methods where we just go through the classroom. That is the discussion starter. हम किसी values के बारे में, अगर आज हम courage के बारे में बात करना चाहते हैं classroom में, तो we can give the example of Shivaji. If we want sacrifice, we can give the example of महाराणा प्रताप. तो एक डिस्कशन स्टार्ट करके फिर हम टॉपिक पे आ सकते हैं. थिंकिंग क्रिटिकली अबाउट द कंपैरिजन गुड प्रैक्टिसेस. If we want to give the value of good practices, that just first session, washing the hands before the meal. They might not be in the habit of having it in the home, but during the recess period, when the recess start, we ask the student to go to the that is water point and wash their hand and come back to the classroom and then have their putting one hanky on the table and then eating it, so the desk is clean for them. So all these things is the thing. These are the methods where we just in the small part we just give it to the students, thinking about the consequence and finding examples and comparing perception, different perspective, meaning analysis, arguments. These are the things where we give it to the classroom, and just finding criteria valuable judgment. When we give the students, sometimes we also give the now CBSE curriculum gives the peer assessment. If peer assessment is given to the students, we want a judgment through them, how they feel about the performance of their classmate. That is the peer assessment. It is the one part of their assessment. Now we know that. So these are the different teaching methodology you can adopt in the classroom, and there might be many different things also which you are doing it. None of these things are there. How the subject teacher plays the role of in the classroom. The different subject teachers can play a different role in giving the values to the students. As I am social science teacher, the first slide is related to that only. The social science particularly is language and social science, particularly language and social science is the most important, where the tradition, culture and values will be imparted to the student through the different ways of teaching. And social science is the best example for that. Since the culture and part is being taught by them from standard 6 to 10, they can be given all the values. That is the history as a record of struggle of mankind, their achievement, failure, focus on discussion. It's a just endless thing. So much example, so much value, the courage, the patriotism, the sacrifice, how the people struggle to come to this stage, their life struggle, the journey of human beings from river valley civilization to the modern age, how they have preserved the things at that time. So we are able to just get the knowledge of those time today. These all help us. The geography, the changing world, the scenario, the world unity, that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is the motto of our country. That whole world is one place, and we should spread the things related to the brotherhood. And economics is straight upon the economical activities, where we have the sanctity, the pureness, the honesty. These all things should be inculcated through the different subjects, particularly, and the civic, particularly the civics, the Paul science in 9 and 10, and then junior classes, it is the civics. These all give the civic values to the students, how they can be a good citizen. What is the, everybody is nowadays talking about their rights. This is our freedom, is our right. Freedom of speech and expression is our right. Do ever we think about the, in the constitution we have the duties also? Anybody thinks about those duties? Now it is the responsibility of the social science teacher, while teaching those things, must discuss in the classroom that every rights of those carry duties also. We have the freedom of speech and expression, but do we give the right to hurt the sentiments of others? No. So it is the duty, it is our duty, it is our moral responsibility to give these values to the student, how to live in the society, survive in the society, contribute as becoming a good citizen and contribute into the society. All these things through the social science. Then we come to the language. As I told, social science and language teachers are having the great responsibility regarding the values to be inculcated to the student. That is, values inculcated through the poet recitation. I may not be having all the memories of the that is the poems that we read in the school time, but definitely one is the 1 or 2 lines of that. चमक उठी वो सन 57 की तलवार पुरानी थी, खूब लड़ी मर्दानी. Now when we just give this vigor into the classroom, when we recite this poem of Rani Lakshmi Bai, that is Subhadra Kumari Chauhan, I think she has written it, and this gives the reflection of Indian person, Indian values and Indian courage. तो ये सारे values हम language classes में दे सकते हैं. Through the stories of different great personalities, their characters, how they, महाराणा प्रताप के बारे में हम बता सकते हैं क्लास में कि उन्होंने देश प्रेम के लिए क्या किया, शिवाजी ने कैसे अपने देश के बारे में ये किया. तो ये सारी चीजें हम क्लासरूम में डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर, सिर्फ एक नहीं, डिफरेंट कैरेक्टर्स के थ्रू, डिफरेंट पोएम्स, स्टोरीज, बच्चों को कह सकते हैं कि आज हमारा थीम ये है, टुडे वी आर हैविंग अ नेशनलिस्ट, हम देश प्रेम के बारे में बात करेंगे आज क्लास में, और कल आप लोग एक एक छोटी छोटी शॉर्ट स्टोरीज, इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरीज ये आप लेके आए अपने लिए, और क्लासरूम में रिसाइटेशन होगा इसका. यू विल गेट अ ग्रेट पॉइंट फॉर दैट. That will at least give them a chance to just learn one thing, one character, and definitely they will keep in the memory. We can have the role play also in the classroom, drama, role play, all these things. And values inculcation to great novels and the praise and value inculcation to different characters. All these things can be done in the language classes. This should be done. And next it is environmental science. As going through the science till standard 5, we have the EVS, where all these things is being taught by the teachers in the classroom. That is the equality, the dignity, justice, right, humanism, the value of human being, and caring attitude toward the nature. Now the degradation of the nature has led to the so many problems, and last 2 years everyone has faced that problem. So how we respect our environment, how we respect our fellow citizen, एक समाज में उभरते हुए बच्चों को समाज में कैसे किन किन अधिकारों का इस्तेमाल करना है, किस तरह से करना है, ये चीजें हम क्लासरूम में इम्पार्ट कर सकते हैं. We can give it into the classroom. And the science, obviously science is where we need to explore and get it betterment for human beings. Scientific temperament should be increased by them. Queries should be there. Reason, asking it, questioning, these temperaments should be increased by the science teachers, so that there must be a query from the students. They must ask to the society. They must ask to their teachers. If these all things can be discussed in the classroom through the science way, the scientific that is temperament, if it is not developed in the student, it will be very difficult for coming generation to cope up with the changing world. Everywhere world, it is changing very fast, and the science is the tool which can make them confident in facing the world. Then we have different or other subject, as time doesn't permit me to just go beyond all discussion on all this subject. Only few lines on all the subject. The mathematics teacher in the initial, just in the language time, language session, before my session, in the first session, discuss about the profit and loss. We can discuss, the math teacher can give it the value of the profit and loss in the life. We can just go through that. And the fine art teachers can give the performing art and visual. They can give the portrait designing, the cultural integrity, the culture of India. ये सारी फेस्टिवल जितने होते हैं उन पर थीम पर बनाने के लिए, और स्कूलों में होता है ये अक्सर होता रहता है. आपके स्कूल में डिस्प्ले बोर्ड पर थीम के हिसाब से बोर्ड सजाए जाते हैं, every occasion is being celebrated. These all give them the values which is needed, and through the co-curricular activities and the scholastic activities, and education through health and physical activities. That is the defeat and the win. Acceptance of defeat is being instilled, the vigor, the killing instinct that I have to win. These all are a part of the physical education and the sports part. So all these things is very important. Just teaching them these values remain with us. If we go through that, if we pay responsible way in the classroom, these values are going to definitely be part of the students, and they can become a good citizen. And this is the one of the thing that we go through, that the conclusion of my session is there, that mere desire or aspiration to progress in life is not enough. Success should be based on values. Without values, the student will not be able to excel in their life. They might be successful, but they not be a good human being. For that, value-based education must be imparted in today's institution. Here, our responsibility is there, that we must make them a good citizen, the citizen who pays attention towards the motherland, which pay attention towards the society. Only taking it from the society and keeping to themselves is not there. Giving up to the society remains a must challenge. And as a person, as a teacher, we own a bigger responsibility in shaping up these values into the students, and so that a student may emerge as a good leader in their chosen field. Whatever field they choose, where they go, they must possess all these qualities, all these values, so that they can become a good asset for the country. We have one picture of the Sachin's coach, that is Sir Ramakant Achikar sir. Now we should be like the teachers who have the students like Sachin, that make it into the world top. I'm not giving example that he was not having the much of the formal education, but as I discussed, the formal and informal both is the part of becoming a successful person in the life. So we must become a guru. We must be a teacher who set an example to our students. Hope everyone, whatever today we discussed, some part we are already doing, some is the refreshing. The CBSE has given this opportunity to exchange the views of everyone, and this was a few things which I had to share with all of you. Hopefully, if we carry something from here, it will be my privilege for all of you. Thank you for giving me opportunity and listening me. Thank you everybody.
Once again, many thanks to Mr. Manish Kumar to deliver the topic. Just after 12:30, we will gather here again for the third session. Bhagalpur Sawadya is very thankful to all the participants who are attending this in-house training program. 12:30 बजे हम लोग पुनः जुड़ जाएंगे, और जो आज का हमारा तीसरा सेशन है वो है हैप्पी टीचर्स के लिए हैप्पी क्लासरूम। तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद।